Exactly what did you have in mind, Mr. Corelli?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the scenes that had every viewer's eyes glued to the screen.
If you wake up at a different time, in a different place, could you wake up as a different person?
Number 50, Punny Animal Playlist, Zootopia. The Try Everything sequence remains one of Disney's most awe-inspiring scenes.
We know, and we're just a little excited for you, but terrified.
As Judy slips on her iPod and heads off to Zootopia, we're treated to a dazzling display of the city's wonders. But while the theme sets the mood, it's Judy's playlist that grabs our attention. Eagle-eyed fans can spot the songs on Judy's iPod, and they're all humorously relatable. We're not sure which ones we love more, Let It Goat, Part of Your Wool, or Era Bunny Nights. Or maybe a song from everyone's favorite band, Fleetwood Mac, or Disney's own Hyena Gomez. Too bad we never actually hear any of these songs, because if we did, we'd be replaying them over and over again.
Try everything.
Number 49, Han's Name, Fast 5. Most fans can name the Fast and Furious crew with ease, but Han is where they might hit the brakes. Although known mononymously throughout the series, his name does pop up if you're paying attention. While Luke Hobbs runs down Dom's team, Han's surname shows up, clearly an homage to a certain Star Wars character known for shooting first. At the same time, it pays tribute to Han's Korean heritage. But as cool as it sounds, director Justin Lin clarified on Twitter that it's just an alias. His real name is actually Han Lu.
Han, you're up.
Sure. Nothing like the easy stuff.
Let's go. I'll drive.
Given his laid-back personality though, Cool Han Lu might have sounded even better. But hey, that's just us. Number 48, Jennifer Aniston's birthday suit, The Breakup. By the aughts, rom-coms had become fairly predictable, so not many were prepared for Jennifer Aniston's shockingly daring moment. The Breakup follows Aniston and Vince Vaughn as exes struggling to coexist under the same roof.
Great.
Great.
Fine.
Fine.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Both come up with increasingly petty ways to one-up the other, and it isn't long before things go off the rails. However, Aniston arguably gets the win when she renders her former beau speechless. Fresh out of the shower, she strolls around in her birthday suit in a mic drop move that leaves him at a total loss for words. PG-13 rom-coms rarely went bold with skin, yet not only did Aniston shut Vaughn down, she also left the entire audience picking their jaws off the floor.
8, 9, 10, it's over!
Number 47, Strategic Pot-Lid Placement, American Reunion. The American Pie movies hadn't aged all that well by 2012, with criticism toward their exploitative treatment of women. But American Reunion flips the script, with Jason Biggs letting it all out there.
What happened?
I don't really remember.
A wild night with friends leaves him clueless and pantsless the next morning. So when his wife and her friend come calling, he has a split second to improvise with a transparent pot lid. And let's just say it doesn't go so well. It's funnier upon learning that Biggs actually wanted the shot to linger.
Oh, wow. Good eye.
It's the father of my child.
Speaking to the Huffington Post, he revealed, quote, "I kept telling the directors, I have one note. You have to hold on to that shot longer so that people will know that's mine." Number 46, T-Rex Chase, Jurassic Park. Even 3 decades after its release, the original Jurassic Park never fails at delivering an adrenaline-pumping experience.
Anybody hear that? It's an impact tremor is what it is. I'm fairly alarmed here.
One of the film's biggest talking points is the T-Rex chase, which blends a sense of wonder with sheer terror. Not only does it raise the stakes, but Steven Spielberg's direction makes us feel like we're the ones being hunted. Every detail heightens the crushing sense of danger, but nothing hits harder than the rear-view mirror shot, which reminds us of how close the predator really is. That moment turned Jurassic Park into an instant classic, locking audiences in its jaws.
Think they'll have that on the tour?
And over 30 years later, it still hasn't let go. Number 45, Jamie Lee Curtis's quick change, Trading Places. Jamie Lee Curtis may be an Oscar winner today, but back in the early 80s, she was mainly known as a scream queen for films like Halloween, Terror Train, and Prom Night.
She looks great.
Listen, if you need a ride home afterwards.
Thanks.
Hi.
Are you okay?
It'll be okay as long as we stay on the dance floor.
Her casting in a caper comedy next to Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy raised a few eyebrows, but Curtis made sure audiences' eyes popped out of their heads. While striking a deal with Aykroyd, Curtis casually disrobes, commanding the scene and every person watching. For some, the moment underscores the character's blunt confidence and ability to seize control.
That's the deal, and it's not subject to negotiation. Understood?
For others, it's more about sticking around just to enjoy the view. Number 44, Head Explosion, Scanners. Talk about a killer headache. Before the gore-filled days of Hostel and Saw, audiences weren't prepared for detailed depictions of violence. That changed with Scanners, a film that redefined its genre.
No one is to leave this room once the demonstration has begun. At this point, I'd like to call for volunteers.
Centering around people with dangerously powerful telepathic abilities, the movie showed just how brutal things could get in a scene with the maniacal Daryl Revick. Choosing to make an example out of someone, his unlucky volunteer writhes before our eyes. And just when the tension reaches its peak, the man's head quite literally detonates. A groundbreaking sequence for its time, the scene pushed boundaries on how violence is portrayed on screen.
I want you to come with me.
I didn't do anything.
I said I want you to come with me.
Today, watching the moment on repeat has become its own rite of passage for horror aficionados. Number 43, Dummy Drop, The Fugitive. Despite its tense setup, The Fugitive delivers an unintentionally humorous moment when Marshal Sam Gerard shuts Richard Kimball's plea with an ice-cold response.
I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Turns out that isn't the only thing the film doesn't care about, especially considering the hilariously botched jump scene that follows. Cornered at the edge of the dam, Kimball has no choice but to leap into the waters below. It would have come across as cool or daring had it not been for the obvious dummy they used instead. Sure, safety concerns meant they couldn't risk a real actor taking the plunge, but they could have at least tried to make it a bit realistic.
What happened? Where'd he go? Gotta get a Peter Pan right here off of this dam, right here!
Forget hidden details, viewers stop the scene just to get a good laugh at how fake it looks. Number 42, The Waste Collector, Toy Story 3. The last time we saw Sid Phillips, he was screaming up a storm, outsmarted by the same toys he'd once tormented.
Who are you calling busted, Buster? That's right. I'm talking to you, Sid Phillips. We don't like being blown up, Sid.
But considering he never knew they were alive, some fans felt the poor kid didn't deserve the trauma. Thankfully, Toy Story 3 gives him a surprisingly wholesome conclusion. While trying to avoid being spotted, Woody evades a waste collector who's jamming to his own beat. Although he seems like a background character, take a closer look at his shirt. What do you know? It's Sid Phillips all grown up. Not everyone noticed it the first time around, so many rewatched just to catch a look at Sid, now in a happier place and clearly living his best life. Number 41, Lone Pine Mall, Back to the Future. When it comes to time travel, even the smallest actions can have lasting consequences. Back to the Future shows this off with a clever and very well hidden Easter egg.
I'm Dr. Emmett Brown. I'm standing on the parking lot at Twin Pines Mall. It's Saturday morning, October 26, 1985.
Though Marty manages to save his parents' marriage and preserve his own existence, some changes remain permanent. Early on, Doc mentions that Twin Pines Mall was once an open field with twin pine trees, hence the name. During his trip to 1955, Marty knocks one over while he's chased away. Back in 1985, what just so happens to be the mall's name now, that would be Lone Pine Mall, a nod to Marty's meddling with time. While some changes carry world-altering impact, others are so subtle that fans can only catch them on a rewatch.
About all that talk about screwing up future events, the space-time continuum.
Well, I figured. What the hell?
Number 40, The Skull, Psycho. Among the earliest plot twists to shake the cinematic landscape was the reveal of Norman, not Mrs. Bates, as Marion Crane's killer. After Norman's capture, a psychiatrist explains his fractured psyche, detailing how Mother has completely taken over Norman's personality. A grim visual ultimately echoes the psychiatrist's words. As Norman contemplates his future, an internal monologue from Mother insists on her innocence. And for the briefest moment, both Norman and Mother become one, her skeletal face reflected on his.
I hope they are watching. They'll see. They'll see and they'll know, and they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Audiences back then couldn't pause their screens, but for modern viewers, it's a moment etched in time, as Mother stares back at us with chilling conviction. Number 39, The Kiss, Cruel Intentions. You'd be forgiven if you had no idea what this film's plot was during its promotional campaign.
That's great. You think so? I don't know. I guess I'm just scared.
Of what?
Duh, boys. I've never even gone to first base with a guy.
Haven't you ever practiced on one of your girlfriends?
Ew, no.
That's because nearly every trailer, TV spot, and basically every form of marketing centered around that kiss between Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair. To teach her inexperienced counterpart the art of seduction, Gellar's character takes a hands-on approach, or mouth first in this case. Back in 1999, seeing two well-known actresses sharing such a lingering, sensual moment in a mainstream movie was practically unheard of. The buzz it generated was so great that by the time the film hit home media, there was no doubt which scene always had fans hitting that pause button.
That was cool. Maybe you should try it on your friend Ronald sometime.
Number 38, Shark Reveal, Jaws. As unbelievable as it sounds, the primary antagonist in Steven Spielberg's monster classic isn't seen until over an hour into its runtime.
See what I do, Chief, is I trick them to the surface, and I jab at them. I'm not gonna haul them up like a lot of catfish.
Before the big reveal, the shark is only teased through fleeting glimpses, building up the fear factor for the viewing audience. Spielberg saves it for maximum impact, and boy, does he stick the landing. While begrudgingly chumming off the edge of the boat, Brody gets the shock of his life as the great white bursts out of the water. But just as quickly as it surfaces, the killer shark sinks back down.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Because of this, fans love hitting pause at the exact moment, eager to see its monstrous face, as if staring straight into the jaws of the devil himself.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them.
Number 37, Cobb's Totem, Inception. Is Cobb back, or is he still dreaming? It's a question that's perplexed audiences since Inception first hit theaters. The protagonist's arc revolves around finding a way back to his children, a vision that drives him throughout the film.
When are you coming home, Dad?
Well, I can't, sweetheart. I can't. Not for a while, remember?
Why?
Look, I told you I'm away because I'm working, right?
Grandma says you're never coming back.
So when he finally makes it home, his happiness is overwhelming. But overcome with emotion, Cobb forgets about his totem, which keeps spinning on the table. Though it seems like he's still trapped in his dream, some fans swear they see the totem wobble before the screen cuts to black. Whether he's truly back isn't the point, it's that Cobb no longer cares. Still, that hasn't stopped fans from pausing and replaying the scene, hunting for answers to one of cinema's most enduring mysteries. Number 36, Slow-Mo Bullet Dodge, The Matrix. If you were around for the release of The Matrix, you'll remember clearly just how big the buzz surrounding the slow-mo scene was.
Trinity! Help!
Endlessly marketed and capturing the Matrix's mind-bending experience in a single shot, it revolutionized special effects for years to come. Even a quarter of a century later, the sequence continues to captivate audiences just as much. Watching Neo defy gravity and bend the rules of physics is nothing short of breathtaking, and let's face it, unbelievably cool.
I've never seen anyone move that fast.
Wasn't fast enough.
It's no wonder fans love studying every intricacy behind it, and why Bullet Time is forever considered a filmmaking milestone. Number 35, Nursery Seduction, The Wolf of Wall Street. Martin Scorsese's biographical dark comedy is steeped in all kinds of debauchery and excess. For Margot Robbie, it was the film that catapulted her straight into the A-list.
Does Daddy get a kiss from both of his little girls, huh?
Oh, no. No, Daddy doesn't even get to touch Mommy for a very, very, very long time.
As the sultry Naomi LaPaglia, she wields sexuality as her primary weapon, manipulating Jordan Belfort into bending to her will. However, when she discovers his womanizing and vices have only escalated after marriage, she flips the power dynamic back the way she knows best. There's no need to explain why the nursery scene became a freeze-frame favorite, not when it speaks for itself. The only button people hit more than pause is replay, and if we're being honest, who can blame them?
Say hi to Rocco and Rocco! Say hi! Hi, fellas!
Number 34, Alien Sighting, Signs. Carrying an ominous feeling of being watched, M. Night Shyamalan's twisty sci-fi horror keeps us on edge from start to finish. But there's also a satirical charm to the film, which traps viewers into a false sense of security.
What you're about to see may disturb you.
This is best shown during the alien sighting scene, where Joaquin Phoenix watches grainy news footage of a close encounter. From yelling in Spanish at on-screen Brazilian kids to his hilariously exaggerated attitude, his overreaction sells every beat.
Move, children! Vámonos!
Of course, just when viewers settle into that false comfort, the alien steps around the corner for an unforgettable jump scare for the ages. You know it's worth a second watch when the film itself freezes the shot for you. Number 33, The Fly, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Talk about committing to the bit. Paul Freeman stuck to character so well, he made swallowing a fly look like part of the script.
Jones? Jones!
In a desert standoff, Indiana Jones has Renee Belloc and his cohorts at his mercy with a grenade launcher, only for Belloc to call his bluff. He's so laser-focused that he doesn't react to a fly resting on his face. It gets weirder once it seems to vanish into his mouth as he delivers his line.
Your persistence surprises even me. You're gonna give mercenaries a bad name.
The fact that Freeman never flinches or acknowledges it in any way leaves viewers wondering if there really was a fly buzzing around. That's why fans worldwide still squint at their screens, hoping to catch a glimpse of a fly from over 40 years ago. Number 32, Pool Kiss, Wild Things. Thanks to the runaway success of hits like Basic Instinct and Fatal Attraction, the 90s saw an influx of film featuring illicit romances with a dangerous edge. Wild Things was no exception, prioritizing shock value over story.
Because see, the thing about it is that threesomes rarely work out.
You're out of your mind.
And like any good erotic thriller, the film thrills erotically. Case in point, the poolside showdown between Neve Campbell and Denise Richards. After a heated argument gets out of hand, tensions between the two escalate. So what happens once you've slapped each other around? You engage in a hot makeout session, of course.
You are scared, aren't you?
Does it make sense? Not really. But does the film or its fan base care? We'll let Kevin Bacon's stunned silence do the talking. Number 31, E.T. at the Galactic Senate, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The question of what species E.T. belongs to has long intrigued fans, but if Star Wars is anything to go by, he might just come from a galaxy far, far away.
Our best choice would be to push for the election of a stronger Supreme Chancellor, one who could control the bureaucrats and give us justice. You could call for a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum.
At least, that's what the Phantom Menace's Galactic Senate scene implies. Emotions are understandably high as Queen Amidala motions for a vote of no confidence, drawing a strong reaction in the chamber. Tucked among all the alien delegates are 3 Asogians, who bear an unmistakable resemblance to E.T. and his pals.
Order!
With no YouTube or HD playback options in 1999, most took to hitting pause on their VCRs for this Easter egg. Hopefully, those Asogians phoned home to say they'd be running late. Number 30, Car Wash, Cool Hand Luke. There's just something about a beautiful woman washing a car that has always been and will always be appealing.
Lucy.
Whether it's Paris Hilton in a Carl's Jr. commercial or Cameron Diaz in Bad Teacher, we can't help but be drawn in by all that sex appeal. As true as that is today, it was also true back in 1967 when Cool Hand Luke hit theaters. If the prisoners on that chain gang had a pause button, there's no doubt they would have used it. And the same goes for audiences decades later.
Oh boy, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's driving us crazy and loving every minute of it.
Number 29. The Map. Iron Man 2. Beginning with Iron Man in 2008, the MCU has been a blockbuster series, dominating the cinematic zeitgeist for over 15 years. One of the reasons was that, from very early on, the franchise created a specific and intricate roadmap of films and characters.
Who the hell are you? Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
A roadmap made partially available to audiences in an awesome Easter egg from 2010's Iron Man 2. The scene in question involves a meeting between Tony Stark and Nick Fury.
I don't think I want you looking at that. I'm not sure it pertains to you anymore.
While their conversation is important to the film, it's a map in the background that caught many fans' attention, as it sneakily indicates numerous areas the MCU would get to in the coming years, from Captain America to Wakanda.
Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever!
Number 28. A Delicious Breeze. The 7-Year Itch. Yes, 2 years prior to the release of The 7-Year Itch in 1953, there were sexy photos of Marilyn Monroe published in the first issue of Playboy magazine. However, that didn't stop audiences from wanting to pause her now iconic white dress flying up in the aforementioned film.
Oh, do you feel the breeze from the subway? Isn't it delicious?
To see if maybe the camera panned down just a moment late, and if anything more were ever visible.
Oh, here comes another one!
It would be decades before the technology was available for us to pause said moment, but once it was...
Well?
My faith in the integrity of American advertising is somewhat restored.
You see?
Number 27. The Vanisher. Deadpool 2. If you go to Brad Pitt's IMDb page, you'll see he has an acting credit for 2018's Deadpool 2.
I just want to say how proud I am of this team.
This may come as a surprise to some folks who saw the film, but can't remember seeing Pitt in it. Well, he was. Very briefly. Remember when Deadpool and his band of misfit superfolks jump out of the plane? One of those skydiving superhumans is the Vanisher, who is invisible for most of his time on screen.
Vanisher! Maybe the wind can't blow what it can't see.
That is, until he parachutes into electrical wires and is shocked to death, shocking many an audience member when his face is very briefly revealed as Brad Pitt.
Really?
Number 26. Wayne Enterprises. Man of Steel. While everyone knows that director Christopher Nolan rebooted the Batman series in the 2000s, some may have forgotten that he was involved in the reboot of another superhero.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S.
Nolan was a producer on 2013's Man of Steel and also developed the story with screenwriter David S. Goyer. But while this movie was a Superman reboot, that didn't stop them from getting a little Batman reference in there. We don't know if it was Nolan's idea or not, but when Superman is fighting in space, there just happens to be a satellite with the Wayne Enterprises logo on it. We smell a crossover, a highly divisive crossover. Number 25. The Red Bikini. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. While there are undoubtedly many women who have worn red bikinis, to anyone who came of age in the early 1980s, there's really only one that matters. That is, of course, Phoebe Cates in 1982's Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Hi, Brad. You know how cute I always thought you were.
Director Cameron Crowe helped all of the audience members and their raging hormones get a better look by giving them a slow-mo view of Kate's bikini-clad bod. There's no denying all of the VHS pause buttons that got a workout when she undoes the bikini top in Brad's fantasized scenario. Number 24. The Cameraman. The Matrix. Have you ever wondered how they get shots in movies with reflective surfaces without the cameraman being seen? Well, the truth is they don't always.
Try not to think of it in terms of right and wrong.
Sometimes the guy filming the scene actually ends up in the shot, as was the case with the "I can only show you the door" shot in The Matrix.
I told you I can only show you the door. You have to walk through it.
It happens pretty fast, so without pausing, it's easy to miss, but freeze the frame and there he is. Sure, he's covered in a coat and a tie that matches what Morpheus is wearing, in an attempt to camouflage as much as possible, but they can't hide that camera lens. Number 23, Spit in Food, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. If, like Ron Burgundy, you don't speak Spanish, then you most likely missed this little gem of a joke the first time you saw Anchorman.
Come again? You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
However, for Baxter the dog and all of the Spanish-speaking members of the audience, the restaurant name Escupimos en su alimento was probably quite LOL-inducing. No pausing needed. For the rest of us, it required a pause button and a couple of weeks of Duolingo or our Google Translate app to learn that Escupimos en su alimento means we spit in their food. Number 22, Jimmy Buffett cameo, Jurassic World. This paused moment is what we like to call a 2-for-1. Amongst all the action and destruction of people fleeing from the flying dinosaurs in Jurassic World, there's one man who stands out from the rest. At first, we all probably just paused at this moment to confirm that, yes indeed, there was a guy who grabbed his 2 drinks before running. Right there, a guy more concerned with saving his drinks than himself is pause-worthy. But hold that pause screen a little longer and take a closer look, and you'll see that it isn't just any guy. That's Jimmy Buffett. And those aren't just any drinks either. Buffett is double-fisting 2 margaritas. Totally worth it.
Wasted away again in Margaritaville.
Number 21, Subliminal Demon Face, The Exorcist. Do you know what the demon that possessed Reagan in The Exorcist looks like?
How long are you planning to stay in Reagan?
Until she rots and lies stinking in the earth.
If you've seen the film, then you do know, even if you don't think you do. That's because the face of the demon flashes on screen multiple times throughout the film, albeit for only about 1/8 of a second each time.
Sure.
The amount of times it happens depends on what cut of the film you're watching, but while it's often easy to spot the image flash and be totally creeped out, the pause button is probably needed to really make out what the demon face truly looks like. Although be warned, once you've seen it, it isn't a face you'll be able to easily forget. Number 20, Where's Ron? Ghostbusters.
This is it! This is the sign!
Yeah, it's a sign, all right. Going out of business.
Believe it or not, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man isn't the most random character who pops up in this comedy classic. When our heroes are forced to shut down their protection grid, a horde of ghosts are released. As all hell breaks loose, numerous onlookers gather around the firehouse. If you've seen your fair share of adult films, one particular New Yorker might stand out. Sporting his signature mustache, adult film star Ron Jeremy gazes up with his mouth agape. Sprinkled amongst a crowd of extras, it's easy to miss the hedgehog, and you may need to zoom in to get a good look. Number 19, The Diggler, Boogie Nights. In this movie about the adult film industry, the artist formerly known as Marky Mark bears all.
I got a feeling beneath those jeans is something wonderful just waiting to get out.
Okay, not really. Nowadays, it's common knowledge among cinephiles that Mark Wahlberg's 13-inch penis was phony baloney. Back when the film was first released on home video, though, this scene had many pausing their TV sets to investigate the authenticity of Dirk Diggler's Diggler.
This thing was like down past my knee.
What makes this moment especially pause-worthy is that the size of his penis had been built up throughout the film, literally, teasing the audience.
You know my reputation. 13 inches is a tough load. I don't treat you gently.
It isn't until the end that we're given a peek at his manhood, in all of its prosthetic glory. Number 18, The Shield, Iron Man.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
When Nick Fury appeared in the post-credit scene for 2008's Iron Man, it became clear that this wasn't just the launching point for a potential trilogy, but an entire cinematic universe. Even before Fury showed up, there were signs that Marvel had bigger plans in mind. In Tony Stark's workshop, Captain America's incomplete shield resides on his desk. The Star-Spangled Shield would make a more obvious appearance in Iron Man 2, and within the next year, Chris Evans made his cinematic debut as the first Avenger. Cap's shield was one of the first Easter eggs to foreshadow what Marvel had in store for us, demonstrating early on that no detail is too small in the MCU. Number 17. I'm Taller. Speed.
Where's Payne?
He lost his head.
Speed more than lives up to its title, delivering high-octane thrills around every turn. The film is so fast-paced that you can't blame viewers for overlooking one of the most obviously fake decapitations in blockbuster history. Duking it out atop a subway train, it appears the villainous Payne has the upper hand over Jack Traven.
I'm the guy with the plan, because I'm smart as
Payne enters a world of pain, however, when he's beheaded by an overhead light. Considering how Payne prides himself on being the smartest man in the room, this is an ironic way for him to go out, and Traven's cool one-liner only makes his demise more memorable.
Yeah? Well, I'm taller.
When you rewind, slow down, and hit pause though, it becomes increasingly apparent that Dennis Hopper has been replaced with a lifeless dummy. Number 16. Zipper Trouble, There's Something About Mary. In an era where comedies generally played it safe with a PG-13 rating, There's Something About Mary went all out with the hard R humor.
I got it stuck.
You got what stuck?
It. Oh!
So when Ben Stiller's Ted gets his junk trapped in a zipper, the filmmakers don't refrain from giving us an up-close and all-too-personal look.
Oh, for God, never sake!
Based on how the characters describe this ghastly sight, the audience is able to paint a graphic picture in their heads, but whatever you're imagining can't prepare you for the real deal.
Take a look at what this numbnuts did.
Like a train wreck, you simply can't look away from the veiny bubble popping out of Ted's trousers. Even after we hit the pause button, it's hard to tell how Ted managed to get his beans over his Frank.
Is it the Frank or the beans?
Perhaps we're better off not knowing. Number 15. Roller Undercarriage. V for Vendetta.
Oh my.
Your Grace.
In David Lloyd and Alan Moore's original graphic novel, a couple of panels find protagonist Evie in the nude. Natalie Portman didn't go topless for the 2005 screen adaptation, but the movie did deliver a little fan service for eagle-eyed viewers. In order to assassinate a clergyman/predator, V sends Evie in to seduce him. Although she tries to warn the bishop, he fails to catch on and gets kicked in his frankincense.
How best procure her confession? You little bitch.
As Evie rolls off the bed to escape, there's an ever so brief glimpse of what she's wearing underneath. Number 14. Thong, the backup plan. Jennifer Lopez's butt has essentially become part of her brand, and it's seemingly on full display in this romantic comedy.
This is my old ass.
Playing a woman who finds true love after being artificially inseminated, Lopez observes her changing body in the mirror. Assuming you weren't watching the film with your significant other, there's little doubt that you rewound and paused to further examine Jen's curvy rear in a thong.
I gained 3 more pounds this week. I think it went all to my ass.
You look great.
As Lopez revealed in an interview, she actually had a body double stand in for her. Lopez claims it was her idea to include this scene, saying, quote, "We should have a real pregnant lady double do it." Oh well, it's not like you can't see J-Lo's legendary booty elsewhere. Number 13. Topless Frames, The Rescuers.
I do that all the time, darling. Now, come on. Stop worrying.
At first glance, The Rescuers is another innocent family romp from the House of Mouse. When the film was released on home video for the second time in 1999, however, attentive viewers noticed something a tad risque about this G-rated flick. Hitching a ride on the Orville, Bernard and Bianca fly past the image of a topless lady in the New York background. Of course, you'd never spot the scantily clad woman unless you paused with perfect precision. Chances are we'll never know who was responsible for sneaking this bit of nudity into the film. All we know is that Disney had to recall over 3 million videos to correct the controversy. Number 12. Legendary cameo, Man of Steel. Christopher Reeve sadly didn't live long enough to see Henry Cavill assume the mantle of Superman. This 2013 film does feature a symbolic passing of the torch though, which also serves as a tribute to the actor who originally made us believe a man could fly.
Take a ride with me?
You mean I could fly?
No, actually, I'd be handling the flying if that's okay.
As General Zod plots to terraform the planet, Clark Kent transforms right before our eyes. Skyrocketing towards the world engine, Reeves' face begins to shine through, if only for a fleeting instant. Being faster than a speeding bullet, you'll need to pause to catch Reeve briefly taking over Cavill's face. Let's just be grateful it's more seamless than Cavill's removed mustache in Justice League.
A man I knew used to say that hope is like your car keys. Easy to lose, but if you dig around, it's usually close by.
Did you ever fight a hippo?
Number 11, Mrs. Robinson, The Graduate.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
This scene is intended to be sexy and uncomfortable all at once. Director Mike Nichols achieves this through clever editing that puts the audience in Benjamin Braddock's shoes. Making it clear that she's indeed trying to seduce Benjamin, we get a glimpse of a naked Mrs. Robinson in the reflection of her daughter Elaine's photograph.
Oh, God.
Standing right in front of her, Benjamin does his best to avert his eyes, but ultimately catches a couple of peeks of the topless Mrs. Robinson. These bits of nudity fly by so quickly that the audience may second guess what they just saw.
Jesus Christ.
Benjamin, I want you to know that I'm available to you, and if you won't sleep with me this time...
Oh, my Christ.
If you won't sleep with me this time, I want you to know that you can call me up anytime you want and we'll make some kind of an arrangement.
With the ability to pause the film, however, you can see clearly everything that Mrs. Robinson was offering. Number 10, Horror History, The Cabin in the Woods.
Congratulations go to maintenance, who share the pot with Ronald the intern.
This whole movie is basically a love letter to the horror genre, packing in both subtle and blatant references everywhere. Unless you're a speedy reader, a pause button is necessary to fully appreciate this scene. Betting on what will plague the titular cabin, an underground organization lists a series of monsters on a whiteboard. In addition to obvious creatures like zombies, vampires, and mummies, the board also includes more obscure creatures like dismemberment goblins, snowmen, and mermen.
But there's always next year.
Evil Dead even gets a couple shoutouts with deadites and an angry tree present. There's one particular name on the board that remains clouded in mystery though. Who exactly is Kevin? Is he from We Need to Talk About Kevin or a slasher version of Home Alone?
I made my family disappear.
Number 9, Extra from an Extra, Teen Wolf. When a film stars Michael J. Fox as a teenager who transforms into a basketball-playing werewolf, you can expect to see some bizarre imagery. The film's strangest moment, however, apparently wasn't even intentional. In the end, Scott Howard wins the big game, shares a passionate kiss with Boof, and they all live happily. Whoa, wait a second. Is that an extra's fly down?
I would have also accepted the scene at the end at the basketball game where the guy in the crowd has his dick out.
Contrary to what Family Guy will tell you, it turns out the extra in the crowd isn't a guy, but a woman whose face can be seen in the film's full-frame version. Christina Haggerty, another Teen Wolf extra, provided further insight into this wardrobe malfunction, suggesting that the woman's pants were probably unzipped or unbuttoned because they were too tight. Number 8, Commando Cartoons, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
You don't know how hard it is being a woman looking the way I do.
Jessica Rabbit could be a Playboy bunny, and not just because her husband is a literal rabbit. This cartoon dame is one of the most overtly sexual temptresses ever put to paper, so much so that she might have snuck her private parts past the censors.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
When the film was released on Laserdisc, reports surfaced that Jessica can be spotted going commando when she's flung out of Benny the Cab. At 24 film frames per second, this moment goes by in a flash, and in more ways than one. Although this scene has been paused time after time, it's still heavily debated if Jessica really exposed herself. In any case, the scene was altered in future releases to avoid further controversy. Number 7, Give Up the Ghost, 3 Men and a Baby.
Do you remember there was a ghost in your movie?
There are several movies that supposedly experienced paranormal activity on set, but you wouldn't expect 3 Men and a Baby to be one of them.
What's your point? There's a scene in the movie where people say that the camera caught a ghost on film. Apparently in the background of one of the scenes, there was this boy that nobody remembers from set, spirit photography.
In what seems like a pleasant scene between Ted Danson, his mother, and his infant daughter, a mysterious figure is visible in the background.
Look at the way she's looking at me.
As if that's not eerie enough, a rumor surfaced that a 9-year-old boy took his own life in the house where the film was shot years earlier. There's actually a reasonable explanation for all of this. The image in the window is just a Ted Danson cutout, and the scene was really shot on a soundstage.
The story was that this kid died in the house where we shot the movie.
Oh, yeah.
This little boy.
Yeah.
Well, we shot on a soundstage. They built the set and all.
Considering that Leonard Nimoy directed the film, though, you can't blame people for wanting to believe something supernatural was afoot. Number 6, The Munchkin Hanging, The Wizard of Oz. As Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man set out to meet the wizard, an unidentified munchkin prepares to meet his maker. At least that's how the urban legend goes. According to an age-old rumor, this otherwise cheerful musical number features a munchkin hanging himself between some trees in the background. The scene had conspiracy theorists everywhere pausing their TVs until the film received a remastered release, revealing that the silhouette was really a stork stretching its wings out. Yet some continue to argue that the bird was merely edited into later versions as a cover-up. Could there be something more sinister going on behind the emerald curtain? Number 5. Secret surprises. Tron. Disney is known for working hidden Mickeys into their movies, causing audiences to constantly freeze frame. One of the most elusive examples can be found in this 1982 sci-fi adventure. In most cases, hidden Mickeys are subtly integrated into the background. This one, however, practically engulfs the entire screen as the solar sailor flies by. You'd think this would be easy to spot, but Mickey's distinctive mouse ears would evade most people if it weren't for the pause button. Mickey isn't the only one who makes a cameo, as Pac-Man somehow wandered out of his maze and into the grid. It's a shame Wreck-It Ralph wasn't around, since he happens to know both Tron and Pac-Man.
Help! Hey, Tron! Johnny!
Number 4. Disney debauchery. The Lion King.
Ever wonder what those sparkly dots are up there?
If you thought Can You Feel the Love Tonight had sexual undertones, be prepared to have your mind blown. Collapsing by a cliff, Simba releases a cloud of dust that appears to spell out the letters S, E, and X. Hey, when you're a growing lion without a mate, you're bound to have some pent-up sexual frustration. To be fair, Disney animator Tom Saito claims it actually spells out SFX in reference to the special effects crew. You can pause the scene all you want, but there will likely never be a definitive answer as to whether this is just a case of sloppy penmanship, or if Simba is sending a subliminal message about his animalistic urges. Number 3. A head-bangin' good time. Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. Star Wars is one of those films that audiences can continually rewatch without ever growing tired of it. The same can be said about this scene, which has given countless fans pause. Entering a room with his squad, a clumsy stormtrooper bumps his head on the door above.
Take over.
The head-bumping stormtrooper is so infamous that he even has his own Wikipedia page. George Lucas even decided to embrace this happy accident, amplifying the sound effect for the film's 2004 DVD re-release, and paying homage to the scene in Attack of the Clones, when Jango Fett bumps his head. Considering that stormtroopers are clones of Jango, we guess their head-bumping habit is hereditary. Their lack of spatial awareness may also explain why they never hit their targets. Number 2. Brad Pitt flashes. Fight Club. In this cult classic, Edward Norton's narrator mentions that Tyler Durden likes to sneak his own contributions into movies while working as a projectionist.
That's when you'll catch a flash of Tyler's contribution to the film.
It appears Tyler also had some fun in the editing room for this movie, as he splices himself into 4 scenes before properly introducing himself. Nobody knows that they saw it, but they did. In addition to these subliminal frames, Tyler was also present in a TV ad dressed as a waiter, which could be alluding to his other job peeing into soup at a hotel. Ingeniously foreshadowing Tyler's true identity, moments like these demonstrate why Fight Club merits repeated viewings, with the remote on standby.
Even a hummingbird couldn't catch Tyler at work.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Sexy Double Cross. Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct is the most paused moment in movie history. In all of movie history, it is the most paused
Conan,
moment.
What moment would that be?
It's towards the...
I'm uncertain what moment we're talking about.
Audiences were completely caught off guard when Catherine Trammell exposed her nether regions, and apparently so was Sharon Stone. The actress claims she originally wore underwear for the steamy interrogation scene, but complied with director Paul Verhoeven's request to take them off. Stone assumed the nudity would be simply hinted at until she saw the film with a test audience. Although Verhoeven has denied these accusations, Stone allegedly slapped him for misleading her. In any case, the final product forever solidified Catherine's status as the ultimate femme fatale. While Catherine's dialogue is mostly comprised of seductive one-liners, it's her crossed legs that do all the talking here.
It's nice.
As one of the raciest moments ever filmed, it's only natural that this would also be the most paused.
All of movie history, thousands and thousands and thousands of movies, you have that moment. That's just incredible.
I'm popular too.
Yes, you are.
Which scene had you stuck on rewind? Let us know in the comments.